Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be diving into the Rare Beauty Holiday Trio set that I have here, and I'm going to swatch these on my cheeks for you. The lighting is pretty dreary today, but I think based on the viewfinder, there's like enough light on my face that this will be a pretty decent representation. So let's just get into it. So this set is 3 of the Rare Beauty Dewy Liquid Blushes, and there are 2 minis and 1 full-sized one. It retails for $30, where I'm pretty sure last year's was $25, and it had also 3, but they were all 3 minis, and there was 1 matte formula and 2 dewy formulations. I think both of the formulas are pretty stand out, and I find that the dewy formulation is, while it's certainly not matte, it's not like the glossiest, dewiest formulation ever. It still like holds itself really well in place, and I definitely think that it's a liquid blush formula that would work for many different skin types, ranging from dry to oily even. So don't be like afraid because it's labeled the dewy. Okay, so diving into the colors, here are the 3 in the set. There is Happy, which is a bright hot pink. Truth, which is pretty deep for my skin tone, definitely something of a berry. And then Encourage, which seems like your kind of standard nice like dusty mauve, but I just want to compare it to the most similar color from last year's set, which would be Hope. And you can see in the bottle, I don't know, they both at first glance fall into that range of easy, would work for everyone, but Hope is much lighter. So all in all, this year's set I think is a lot more flexible in terms of a range of skin tones it can cater to. All 3 of these colors I think are like fairly bold and deep-ish, but because the formulation is really easy to work with, you can sheer it out. So I like the direction they've gone in with that. Let's just start plopping this on my cheeks. So now first I'm gonna go in with Encourage. Okay, so there is Encourage on. I just used that little dollop that was on my hand before, so as you can see, you don't need that much product to cover both cheeks. I feel like I look pretty decently flushed. You can definitely build it up more. This feels like a pretty standard color. Maybe you already have something like this in your collection, to be honest, so it's kind of more about whether or not this is a formula like. This I would describe as something of a mauve color, maybe a little bit cooler tone. I think it goes pretty decently with this eye look. So yeah, there is Encourage. Now I'm gonna go in with Truth, and I want to be pretty careful with this color because it is rather bold for me. Okay, so here is Truth on, and I definitely am looking quite flushed. It kind of feels similar to Encourage, well, similar to Encourage, but just like amped up a bunch, deepened and more brightened on my face. I don't know if that's a good description, but this color really looks like how my face kind of turns when I've been drinking. So this is an interesting yet realistic effect. Yeah, I would definitely be careful with this color, but nevertheless, I quite like how this looks. And also just for reference, I'm not wearing any other like highlighter or powder or bronzer. I just have a little bit of foundation on, and I just wanted to be able to show the effect of the blush formula on its own. So as you can see, it's pretty decently dewy. One thing that is nice about this formulation is that because it doesn't really like set down very fast, you have time to work with it and layer it as you want and to kind of blend it out as far as you need. And I find that this is an easy formula to kind of take back a little bit because it is quite bold and you can definitely overdo it. But if you just take a clean part of a beauty blender and really like patiently tap that out, you can definitely shape things back into a controlled manner if you're worried about that. Okay, and if you're curious, I'm going in with a little layer of foundation. Well, I'm kind of tapping off as much as I can and then going in with some foundation to start with a clean slate, but it's not exactly a clean slate anymore, is it? In any case, now I'm going in with Happy, and this color is the one that I'm most excited for because I feel like I haven't really explored hot pinks like this before. Okay, ta-da! I think this color is so cute. It's actually not nearly as overwhelming as it looks in the tube or even just on my hand. Here it is like immediately dab, but then once you kind of blend it out, it's much, much more manageable. It's very bright and like very youthful and lively, I think. I think it looks so fresh. I think this is probably my favorite color. Truth is a little bit deep for me. Like I said, it looks like how I flush when I drink, and I'm not a huge fan of that for me personally, but it's definitely a color that I think that could work for a lot of people. And then Encourage, I understand why they made this one the full size because it feels like a color that would work for a lot of people, but I think that personally I don't always love like a mauve blush. It generally works, but I think that I feel lately at least more comfortable with something that's a little bit more neutral peachy, whereas Happy was a nice surprise in that it's bright but it's a lot more manageable than I thought. It's certainly like truly a bright pink, but it's not like screaming on my face. Somehow I think it looks pretty balanced and it looks cute with this look that I have on despite my eyes being quite bright as well. Anyways, very, very pleased with how this all turned out. I also really, really like mixing a lot of these together, which is probably one of the biggest draws of the whole holiday set for me because I have a few rare blushes already. It's really fun to kind of mix and match my own custom shade for whatever I desire. But again, I have tried out this formula before. I already know that it's something that I like. It's quite dewy and luminous now, but it doesn't really stay feeling like greasy or overly glossy throughout the day. It lasts pretty decently, but overall I think that the formula is just surprisingly much more flexible to work with than one would expect given how pigmented it seems to be. I really like the little sets with the trios. I think they're good value because like, man, these tubes are so pigmented that like I don't ever foresee myself using a full size or a mini up, so it's a nice way to collect more colors. And also, this is one thing that is pretty important to me. I like the way nice packaging feels, and very often I find with mini sizes the packaging quality feels very compromised. It's not nearly the same experience. Not like I like mini things, I think they're cute, but a lot of the times it feels much cheaper, a lot lighter. They just use completely different materials, whereas these Rare Beauty minis feel pretty much just like the full size but scaled down in size. Like the doe foot has like a nice little curve. It's the same shape as what's in the original but just mini. You know, they keep all of like the same materials and design. It's literally just scaled down, and that's definitely something that I can appreciate. So those are all 3 shades swatched on my cheeks for you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have a favorite out of the 3 and if you end up grabbing this for yourself. Okay, thanks for watching.